But then it gets bigger here, correct?
2001, you started your own line.
Ta-da! Yeah.
In partnership with Caring, but you did so with a core set of values. I mean, you really, and you've stuck to them. Your brand is vegetarian. You've never once used leather or fur, but it's worked.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the lucky thing for me is I do look at my upbringing and think it enabled me to not have to compromise. That's one of the biggest blessings it gave me, that I always sort of knew, and I even still know, that if everything goes horribly wrong, I can fall back on a really loving, caring, unconditional family unit and we'll be okay, you know, like I have a good buffer. And I think that that afforded me to not compromise my ethics going into my workplace. And I never have, no. I mean, it's always been at the core of everything that I've ever done, is that I have a set of standards and rules that I live my life by. And why would I not take them into my workplace, you know?
Because you're vegetarian and you were raised vegetarian.
Yeah, and I'm just conscious. You know, I was brought up on being on an organic farm. You're conscious of the seasons and the link between nature and humans and how we all live on this planet together. And I also got to tour the world when I was young, so I really had a kind of big overview of travel and the globe, and that I could see a sort of broader conversation, and I've always connected those dots. So for me, coming in, you know, being so lucky as a woman to be able to start your own brand. I mean, there aren't many fashion houses that have someone's name on the door that's alive anymore. You know, really, certainly, let alone a woman, and let alone with a point of view that's not compromising. And you know, I've been very blessed, and I have people now that come to work for me, and you know, they interview to come here because they want to work for a company that has that set of standards and that is thinking in a more responsible way.
Because I remember when you started your brand, people were not really confident that this would succeed.
Yeah. But you know, at the core of everything, to be a conscious kind of consumer and to try and conduct ourselves in that way in an industry that is the second most harmful, you know, to the environment on the planet, I think you have to look at design. You know, for me, I can sit and I can talk about the things that we do here that are more responsible and more, you know, more caring, if you like. But the really important thing is the design, because if I didn't design a Falabella bag that really had a timelessness to it, a kind of cool edge, and it doesn't really matter what it's made out of if it's not designed well.
Well, I know you've said that you're not an environmentalist, you're a fashion designer. And I often forget, I have to say, I have bought shoes and I often forget that, you know, I don't walk through this store and think that's not leather.
That's the best. That is really the goal for me. You know, I think that's the most modern way to kind of approach what we're doing here, is to just have a mindset where this is great design, these are beautiful products that are desirable, that are made well, they're sourced well, they're mindful in the way in which they're manufactured.
But it's not easy. I mean, it takes a lot of work, doesn't it? I mean, wouldn't it be much easier to use leather or fur?
Yes, it would. It would be much easier, and we'd probably be a much bigger company if we did so, but you know what? Life's too short, and I love the challenge. I love it, and my team, I think, love the challenge. You know, at first they were like, ugh, really, this is a struggle, you know? And actually then I got a shoe designer who was vegetarian. He was like, this is so great for me. I get to finally work somewhere where I can be the best designer and I don't have to compromise my personal beliefs. So, but it is harder, but you know what? I didn't come into the room trying to make my life easy. And we try to make it fun. You know, for me, it's important to not punish people and tell them off and make them feel rubbish. I think anything is better than nothing.